Hey guys, it's your buddy, your pal, the IT collector, and today, as you can tell, I'm all UFC'd out. I'm super excited to talk to you about the latest action figures, UFC action figures by Jazwares. They are replacing the older figures, which was made by Jakks Pacific. Right off the bat, these are a lot bigger, about 7-8 inches depending on the character, and these are about 6 inches. The cool thing about these is they come with accessories, and I'll show you that in a second once I open it up and we get a closer look at the figure. But also I want to talk about the fighter. Let me set down my championship belt here. Now, Jon Jones, hate him or love him, he is a very dominant fighter. Some would argue that he's the greatest of all time, especially at a light heavyweight. He's even trying to go bulk up recently, and is going to try his luck at heavyweight. He's been the champion at light heavyweight, and his I can't say nemesis, but he has I don't know, a rivalry with DC, Daniel Cormier, and obviously Jon Jones dominated him, so he's not much of a nemesis, but it is what it is. But yeah, he's if he stays out of trouble, man, he's a awesome fighter, fun to watch, exciting to watch. Kind of reminds me of the excitement that he brings to the sport is kind of like Conor McGregor. That's what it reminds me of. But yeah, so let's open him up and talk a little bit more about the actual figure himself. So here's a closer look at Jon Jones, Bones Jones. This is the new figure that I mentioned, and just to compare it to the older ones, take a look at the size of Anderson Silva, and this is by Jakks Pacific. So if we're gonna do side by side, they're huge. They're just a lot bigger, about at least an inch bigger. These are around 7-8 inches, and this is around 6 inches. Let me actually measure that for you guys to see if they do this a little bit more to scale. But no, it's about 6 1/4 from head to toe. So yeah, so that's Jon Jones, and let's take a closer look at his likeness. So unfortunately, as I mentioned in other videos, Jazwares is the one who makes this, and they didn't do the greatest job on the likeness. I guess these are more for action figures to play with them, or I don't know if I might display them just because it's some of them are iconic. You should know who they are. What's cool is they always include like the tattoos, the actual real life tattoos of the fighters. So some of them have iconic ones, especially the big time champs like these, like Jon Jones, and so that's pretty cool that they include all that. The accessories is, for example, the championship belt, which they have two styles. This is the modern style, and then most recently, or actually one of the older models, is what Daniel Cormier has, which is this. The original old school UFC belt. So you see the two different ones there. And then besides the belt, they have different faces. And here he's yelling or has his mouth open. Again, it's not so much his likeness, but it is what it is. And then last but not least is the hand. So they have a little bit of a grip, open hand, and these are closed fist. What's cool is the actual shorts are cloth as opposed to painted on like the previous figures, and then each fighter comes with a cloth flag from whatever country they're fighting out of or wherever they were born. And then regarding the back of the box, it shows little stats on where he's fighting out of, when he first started, and then also, you know, any career highlights. And then at the bottom is the other figures in this first set, and that's Daniel Cormier, Donald Cerrone, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, and Khabib. So they, I have several videos on a couple of those. As you can see, I have them behind Jon Jones, and so yeah, check out those other videos if you want to see a little bit more close-ups on those other figures. But for right now, let me show you how the articulation on these figures are. So I'm going to leave Jon Jones in his box, but I do have DC open here. And with pretty good articulation, they boast 32 points. So that's pretty good. It starts off with the head. You can go side to side, up, down. Shoulders move, they rotate, as you can see, pretty well. His biceps and his wrist turn. And then the wrist don't turn in. They just turn side to side. And like I said, the elbow can turn in. The torso, they're all made the same, where the torso can be bent down or up, and also they can turn side to side. So that's pretty well done. And then of course the hip joint, they created this in a locking position, which is pretty cool. So you can have them lock up like that in whatever position you want. And then of course the knee joint and the ankle. So pretty well done. I mean, if you're gonna have these displayed in a certain fight manner, that'd be very good. I think it's awesome. I just noticed that this might be backwards. To line up his tattoo, maybe it's this shoulder here. Anyways, I'll have to play around with this another time. But for right now, I think that's very cool, and I do think that they did a good job on their articulation of these figures. So there you go. There is the Jon Jones action figure, a little bit close up. Pretty cool that they're coming out with this line. It's definitely something, if you're a fan and you collect stuff, it's a must-have. Whether you want to display them, or if you're a lot younger, then I guess play with them, or maybe if you're older you can play with them. But you know how it is in collecting world. It's, you have your wants, everybody's different. But that being said, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Keep a lookout for more UFC coming. Not only UFC, I collect a lot of Star Wars, Marvel, movie props, Back to the Future, Ninja Turtles, all types of stuff from the 80s, 90s, 2000 era. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more content.